Now, I think it's pretty safe to say that Disney has had the absolute worst year throughout all of 2023. This really marks a historic failure for not just Bob Iger, but also for Disney's legacy. We know that at the same exact time, they've dealt with numerous failures from point A to point B of this year, everything ranging from Indiana Jones 5 to the Marvels, and even now with their latest movie, Wish, which, by the way, is a part of Walt Disney Animation Studios, which is yet another part of Disney that failed for 2023. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. Now, for those of you that don't know anything about Disney's movie called Wish, this movie in particular is a film that essentially honors the Disney legacy. This is what Bob Iger kept on saying repeatedly, that this movie is about honoring the legacy of Disney and exactly what Disney stands for, about making a wish and dreams coming true, all that kind of stuff. Now, a lot of critics, a lot of official critics out there, have been labeling this movie as coming across or feeling like an ad for Disney in its own entity and within itself, basically, as a film. That's how a lot of the critics feel right now, and Bob Iger is not taking this very well, both, of course, in the public eye and behind the scenes. Let's discuss. Now, specifically, we know that there's a lot of things happening with Bob Iger. We know that between himself and the Disney board of directors, they're really trying to find a way to really kind of stabilize the Disney company itself. We know that the stock has been hitting an all-time low, going up and down, more so on a downward trend, and looking with no resolution for 2024. However, on top of that, with Bob Iger currently dealing with multiple box office failures throughout all of 2023 that came as a result of agenda-driven films, one major development has to do with his stance on the current performance of their latest movie, Wish, another film already underperforming at the box office. Now, Iger went on to deliver the following. As CEO, I feel it is my responsibility to set the record straight with the performance of our installment for Walt Disney Animation Studios' Wish. We here at Disney feel it's irresponsible for the general public to jump to conclusions based on premature results and reviews of our latest film as underperforming or not meeting financial expectations for our last film by Walt Disney Animation Studios. Our analysts have come to the conclusion that early reviews and reports of our product underperforming at the box office and not meeting expectations are too premature to take as the final status of where our last feature of 2023 stands. We believe it's our only fair chance at all, and it's not fair at all for our customers to let the product speak for itself, and that's the only fair route to take, and then judge it afterwards. As a business, we ask everyone to carefully judge early reports, reviews, and pieces of criticism about our feature that we are so proud of not only embraces diversity, but also honors the Disney legacy. From the overall spots that we have seen about our financial status with this film is something that we don't take lightly at all as a business, and we can only hope that the majority doesn't judge a film based on premature reports that are seemingly inaccurate and too early to tell as a whole. We also value art over ideology, and this film is not about any kind of an agenda. We do not embrace agenda-driven films, and Wish is an example of a feature that pays respect to the Disney legacy and to its fans. Now, let me just pause here quick, guys, before I move on to what's going on behind the scenes with Bob Iger and how he's taking action at Walt Disney Animation Studios. This is where things begin to get very ugly. Now, we know that Wish is basically the one movie that Disney was expecting to have a very strong box office opening on the first day leading into Thanksgiving weekend, which, by the way, already is looking to be a disastrous mess for them. Now, we know that Marvel is underperforming, specifically with the Marvels. We know that a lot of their other areas within Disney, such as Lucasfilm, has been underperforming, especially with Indiana Jones, The Dial of Destiny. That was a big box office bomb back in July of 2023 when the results really were, becoming more rampant throughout all of the reports out there in the Hollywood trades admitting to that. And let's not forget about everything that's on the horizon, about how Disney is embracing their usage of DEI in their upcoming Marvel movies, TV shows, and even everything coming from Lucasfilm as well. This ranges from Star Wars to everything else that Lucasfilm prepares to produce as well. And that just goes to show you that Disney, at the same exact time, they are very much stressed out and annoyed, rather, over their performance and embarrassing themselves, but yet at the same exact time, they are still doubling down on the very thing that's destroying these franchises and these brands, which is pure insanity to me. I mean, it really is. Bob Iger really is the absolute worst CEO of all time at Disney, if not one of the worst ones in general. I would actually go as far to say that. So, moving onwards. Apart from what Iger actually had to say and deliver here about the film Wish and its performance not meeting expectations, Iger is also planning to fire the entire marketing team of those who promoted Wish and the trailer companies that put the promotional pieces of the film together. This comes as a result of the critic reviews that are way below average so far, with box office goals meeting a terrible low for Disney. Disney reportedly expected a way stronger box office opening on its first day, and so far for Thanksgiving weekend, it is already looking to underperform based on new projections that Bob Iger is not satisfied about at all, in the least. This is also reportedly leading to layoffs effective for 2024 at Walt Disney Animation Studios, since this film would mark a box office failure in all Disney departments for 2023. Iger is already looking to hire new employees and creators at Walt Disney Animation Studios throughout 2024 and 2025 to revamp the studio and its future films on the horizon. Now, that's the problem, is that Bob Iger always looks at the marketing, he always looks at the marketing team, he looks at those that put the trailers together, as well as those that animate these movies. So, I think at the same exact time, this is really just, at the end of the day, a Bob Iger problem, and more specific, a shareholder problem. Specifically the top 3 shareholders that I like to always mention, BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street, that's pushing all of this ESG nonsense and DEI, stuff into these movies and these products that are just not working at all. Now, Bob Iger claims that this movie is not agenda-driven at all, and that's up to everyone to decide for themselves, but there's one thing that is true about this film, is that it is not working well with the official critics. In fact, critics are bombarding this movie. They absolutely are labeling it as bland, aimless, as if it's coming across as a commercial for Disney because of how it's all about really honoring the Disney legacy as Disney 100th, alright? We know that Disney's 100th anniversary was this year, and this movie is about honoring that anniversary as well. So it's kind of like promoting Disney in and of itself for this film directly, and that's one big problem that a lot of critics are coming across. So Bob Iger, once again, lying to his customers, lying to the shareholders, stringing them along, and it's not working out for him in the least. That's why I always call him Bob Iger. So anyway, guys, drop a comment below, fill me in below in the comments what you all have to say about this, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.